जयतु जयतु भारतम जयतु जयतु भारतम विश्व प्रेम की बाढ़ चदरिया
जागा हुआ भारत है ये। विश्व प्रेम की ओढ़ चदरिया विश्व प्रेम की ओढ़ चदरिया सच्चे सुर में गाता है।
एक सुरीली आशा लेकर सूरज नए उगाता है।
विश्व प्रेमिर चादर ढेके शुद्धिर शूरे गानाए സിന്ധമിഴ്വാനിൽ പുതിയ പൊൻവിടിയിൽ ആയിരമാലവൻ തോന്നിടുതേ
विश्व प्रेमाची ओढून चादर खऱ्या सुरांनी गाता है।
एक सुरीली आशा लईने सूरज नवो उगाडे जे जागा हुआ भारत है ये, जागा हुआ भारत है ये, जागा हुआ भारत है ये, जागा हुआ भारत है ये। जय भारत जय भारत वसुधैव कुटुम्बकम् भारतम् जय भारतम् हो जाएंगे नई राहें लिख देंगे आशाएं। श्वास मेरी प्राण मेरा तू ही मेरा मन
बस तू ही है प्रेम मेरा पहला और प्रथम।
कर्मधात्री जन्मधात्री कई
मानवणुधान कोसे अंकितमौता
सुर अनेक स्वर अनेक एक है धड़कन
शब्द सारे भाव सारे हैं तुझे अर्पण।
सर्व तेरे
एक कोई तड़कन
शब्द मोर श्रद्धा मोर तू मते अर्पण प्रेम का मृदंग रंग एकता का तू
युगों युगों से एक छंद साधना का तू
ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಣ್ಣ ಸೇರಿ ಮಿಡಿವ ಪ್ರೇಮ ನಾದನಿ ಯುಗ ಯುಗಗಳ ಸಾಧನೆಯ ಶಿಖರ ನಾದನಿ तेरी शान तू महान ज्योति तू किरण
पवन पवन गगन गगन करे तुझे नमन।
ಅಭಿಮಾನ ಮಾಡವಿ ಕೆಡವಿಳತ್ತು ನೀ.
A very good afternoon, a good morning, and a very good evening to whichever part of the globe you're joining us on this Zoom seminar with the most amazing speaker who's going to be speaking on Throb, Thrive, and Triumph, wherever the Indians are. So today it gives me a great pleasure that on behalf of the Lohana Mahajan Nakuru, I have this very great privilege to be introducing the speaker today to be the MC for the Zoom session. And I have this utmost great privilege in introducing the super awesome speaker for today, who is none other than our Captain Jaydev Joshi. And if I can just start that again, Captain Jaydev Joshi. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce him and to tell you a little about our super awesome speaker. The officer, Captain Jaydev Joshi, got commissioned into the regiment of artillery with a meritorious performance at the Officers Training Academy with a high merit. His first posting was on the Chinese border. He was holding an observation post with an eyeball distance, with the Chinese troops, manning the post with only 3 Javans other than him. His post was outnumbered by the strength of 120 Chinese soldiers. The Indian post had the artillery firepower to bring down heavy Bofors fire onto the Chinese post. The officer has been awarded the Chief of Army Staff's Commendation Card for saving the lives of 64 civilians during a flood rescue mission in the floods of 2008 in Jamshedpur within 36 hours. The mission was named Operation Sahayata. The officer has also served in the insurgency-inflicted Rajouri sector of Jammu and Kashmir. He laid the foundation of a medical center for the armed forces veterans, the first of its kind in a non-military station like Rajkot. This center provides free medical treatment to the armed forces veterans and their families of the 7 districts of Gujarat. He takes care of the welfare issues, including pensions, re-employment of the ex-servicemen of Saurashtra region, and training of their wards to join the armed forces. Captain Jaydev has been the security manager of the Indian national cricket team. Now, this is where my interest comes in a little bit. He has traveled to various countries with the team. This includes the ICC Championship Trophy of 2017 at England. He also has acted as the security manager for England and Bangladesh cricket teams, IPL venues, and the RCB team. Captain Jaydev Joshi is the founder of Gujarati's first and only fully fledged armed forces selection training academy. Captain JJ is often called. He has the Captain JJ Foundation and is a registered trust and acts for the welfare of the widows, the Veer Naris, the widows of the soldiers or the veterans. He's a regular panelist on TV debates on national security matters. And Captain Joshi, a little that I researched about you. One thing that not everybody knows about you is out of the 3 wings, the army of the army, the land, the air, and the navy, there is approximately 40 lakh troops. 50 soldiers every year are selected for a very special management course in the IIM. And Captain Joshi, our super awesome speaker, was one of them who were selected while he was serving in the army. Also, he is the security in charge of the cricketers and the Royal Challengers Bangalore. That means that if there is someone who can prevent Anushka from meeting Virat Kohli, well, that's our Captain Joshi. Without further delay, allow me to introduce Captain Joshi. However, as he opens up his camera and is with us, we have the president first of the Lohana Mahajan Mandal, Nakuru, who would love to welcome you and say a few words about you. So Captain Joshi, be prepared. We have a lovely lady, Mrs. Harshida Karya, who's supposedly the chairman of the Lohana Mahajan Nakuru, but currently is having a good time in India, enjoying the rains. So Harshida Ben, let us have you as the chairperson for the Lohana Mahajan Nakuru. Thank you very much. Harshida Ben to be spotlighted, Meena Ben. Harshida Ben Karya. Meena Ben? There we go. Welcome, Harshida Ben.
Thank you. Hello, good evening, Joshi Krishna. On behalf of the Nakuru Lohana Majan, I, Harshida Karya, the chairperson, welcome you all to today's Zoom live interaction. We are very grateful and thankful to Captain Jaydev Joshi, all the way from India, Saurashtra, Rangilu, Rajkot, who has taken out his valuable time for all of us to enlighten us with his contributions towards today's talk. I heartily warmly welcome Jaydev, Captain Jaydev Joshi. I would also like to appreciate the effort of Dr. Lalitbai Soda and Meena Ben Khagram for supporting this meeting. Nakuru is very lucky to host this Zoom interaction. We conduct various activities within the community, religious functions, we have entertainment functions, we have traditional nights. So the community is very small, but the unity is very strong. Over to you, Lalit Bhai. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Harshida Ben. That is very kindly appreciated. Moving on for a welcome to Meena Ben Khagram. Meena Ben is the lady who has all this energy, all the knowledge, and all the contacts to meet such wonderful people across the globe and to bring them on a Zoom conversation. This young lady at 75, ladies and gentlemen, we can say she is absolutely zooming. So Meena Ben Khagram to welcome our lovely Captain Joshi. Meena Ben.
Thank you, Lalit. First of all, I would like Captain Jaydev, I want to officially welcome him. I hope you are, yes, spotlight him. This is nice tilak for you and nice ashtak for you, and there is a special mala for you. And all the bad luck goes out of you. Thank you. Thank you very, very much.
Meena Ben, can we have you highlighted, please? Spotlighted on Meena Ben, please.
Somehow mine is not going maybe as a host, I don't know, but it is fine if, let's see, try to spotlight me. Otherwise, I'll just start.
There we go. You are there. That's good.
Okay, I'm there. Am I there?
Yes, you're there.
Okay. Global namaskar to everybody. Karibu. Jai Hind. Good afternoon and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Behalf of Lalit and myself, welcome to Nakuru, town of the world famous flamingos, wild animals, and where fastest runner in the world are born. I'm super excited and proud to welcome our Captain Jaydev, Captain of Indian Army, Captain of the ship. Jaydev, you love music, you love singing, and you love acting, and you are #1 in advertising. This was the first time I noticed, wow, you advertise so well. I don't know why you are in army. You are a hero of the ship and hero of the 2 daughters and the family. I'm so impressed. You have learned Swahili words. Where did you bite it? From Ramesh Bhai Khetani? I'm sure he's the one. There was something that I needed to tell you, which you stayed for 34 hours and saved 60 people, which is been covered by Lalit Bhai. So congratulations to you. welcome again, Jaydev. Now it is my privilege to welcome and introduce my cousin, Lalit Pai. He's a backbone of this session. Dr. Lalit Soda is a chiropractic currently practicing in London, England. A public speaker in his profession and conducts many events as an MC corporate levels. He freely lectures faith in community and outside. He also authored a book. If you can see this one, Pushti Maragya, and that's the book he has authored. At moment, he is a guest speaker on international level. He is a man with multi-talent and very kind-hearted with lots of values. As a child, here, listen, Lalit. He was always amazed with a primus. I wonder if you have seen the primus. And he was always wondered how it worked. And he would sit next to his grandmother and help her do the samagri. I don't know whether helping was for samagri or to pump the primus, but he always loved it. Over to you, Lalit Pai.
Thank you very much, Meena Ben, for that lovely introduction. We can't wait now to welcome our guest speaker for today. If you can highlight him, Meena Ben, our guest speaker for today, Captain Jaydev Joshi. A warm welcome to you. A salute from a Indian-born British resident right now. And over to you. The stage is yours now, Captain Joshi.
Thank you so much. Hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
A big namaste, Jambo, and hello to all the listeners and viewers of this live Zoom interaction session, conceptualized and executed by the best of the people. And if I can borrow the words of the chairperson of Lohana Mahajan Nakuru, Harshida Ben Kaya, that the community is small, but the unity is strong. So hats off to the community, the Lohana community and the organization, Lohana Mahajan Nakuru, for conceptualizing and executing this event. It wouldn't have been successful without somebody who could have got me in touch with them, is Mr. Ramesh Khetani, and tirelessly, two people whom I would like to call the Jawans. Meena Auntie, Meena Ben Khagram, as she has now forced me to and made me habituated to call her. Meena Auntie, it was you and Dr. Lalit Soda whose energy and perseverance and regular updates onto how can we make this event more and more fruitful and to reach to more and more people. That was the pillar, that was the strength of us being able to deliver it today. So hats off to you all too. And thank you to all the listeners and viewers who have joined in into this Zoom interactions, this session. In the next 19 minutes or so, 19 I say because I may have already taken a minute plus, and this is the time that I am to speak to you, 20 minutes. After that, the master of ceremony of this session, Dr. Lalit Soda, would be coming up with questions and something which is surprised as a surprise from him. So for this next 19 minutes or so, I would like to touch upon this subject. The subject, let us make India throb, thrive, and triumph, not only in our hearts, but also in the world.
This very subject was selected.
This very subject was selected very thoughtful. We all do get our waves of patriotism. And me being a soldier, let me be blunt in saying that here in India also, not only in India, but I believe in most of these modern age countries, we do see a soda water bottle, a carbonated liquid bottle, sort of an aerated water, sort of an patriotism coming and then going down on days of national importance, national glory, days like Independence Day and Republic Day. It comes and then fuses out. This should not happen. Our heart beats, and our heart beats constantly, and that's what keeps us alive. So the throbbing of this heart, and every time that our heart throbs, it should be speaking the name of our motherland. But would this mere throbbing and staying alive be enough? Certainly not. Staying alive, anybody can stay alive. But to be alive and to be lively is the difference. As I said, Meena Auntie and Dr. Lalit Soda, you have been the Jawans. Now, why do I say this? Whenever into the Indian Army regiments or even Air Force and Navy, when the commanding officer addresses the troops, they say, officers, JCOs, and Jawans. Now that poor old Subedar Major would be in his late 50s, but he would still be called Jawan because a Jawan is somebody who is tireless, who is persevering, who is physically fit, who is active, who is strong, and who is vibrant. That is what you both are, and that's why initially I said you both, I would like to give this tag of Jawans. Age doesn't matter to both of you, your work pressure doesn't matter to both of you. But then staying alive is not only thing. We should grow. We should be garnering. And that is what we want all Indians to thrive. And lastly, to triumph. Today's times are challenging times. And there has never been any point in time in the history of this mankind that there was not one or the other challenge facing them. In the olden days, it was the challenge of survival. We didn't know how to light a fire. We didn't know what the wheel was. Then came the pandemics, the epidemic, the plague and such like things. Then came the crusades. And it kept on coming and coming and coming. And today, in 2019, when we thought that the world, the mankind has almost got everything that they can sustain with, we got this thing. In Gujarati, we called a virus a Vishanu. And the atom bomb is called Paramanu bomb. The atom bomb which had the strength of literally wiping out Hiroshima and Nagasaki off the map of the world, Paramanu, and this small little virus coming and ruining our lives, taking away our loved ones from us, is called Vishanu. Now there is this comparison, a rhyming comparison, Vishanu and Paramanu. In 2019, when we thought we had got it all, this small little Vishanu comes and does more damage to the mankind than what that Paramanu, the atom bomb, had done. So one has to triumph, the mankind has to triumph onto each and every challenge, whoever poses to us. So that was why we selected this subject. But before we go into it, let me also tell that this is a very sensitive subject. Whenever we see an Indian talking of patriotism, now I am limiting myself to Indian because I am now relating myself to this topic and most of us Indians to this topic. That whenever we talk of patriotism, it is always the Britain bashing patriotism that we talk of. Bollywood, India's maybe one of the biggest industries, or even globally recognized Bollywood for making humongous number of films with mega budgets, also does the same thing. In the late 1900s, or maybe the early 2000s, we have a movie called Lagan, set in the pre-independence time, and there also, for small little things, we have to do Britain bashing. Is that what is required? And that's why it is sensitive. Whenever an Indian speaks, he should speak for his motherland. He should speak for his Bharat Mata. He should not be speaking only about how the Bharat Mata was enslaved, how were the shackles tied to her hands and feet, and how we were enslaved, and what atrocities were done to us. The world has seen it, we have seen it, everybody knows it, but we should come out of this victim mode. Let us say it with clarity and confidence and conviction that we learned a lot, many things from our then masters also. No matter even if they called us something which we didn't like. But this sensitive subject has to be touched upon without violating the feelings or offending the feelings of anyone. And also equally at the same time, without Britain bashing, we should be able to ignite that flame of patriotism in our hearts, because of which for endless number of days Bhagat Singh stayed without food and water, not even milk, to sustain him into the jail and to face the atrocities that he had to face. He spoke fluent English. He read Lenin in the jail. There were
Statements against him.
that he is a rebellion, he is a terrorist, he is a communist, and for time immemorial till now, Indians, we are afraid of communists. But we should not. And the freedom fighters were not the only ones for whom we sing, Dedi hame azadi bina khadag bina dhal. I will not go to the next line. This line was, Dedi hame azadi bina khadag bina dhal. There was no khadag. Khadag is a sword-like weapon, and dhal is a shield which protects us. If we got independence without khadag and dhal, what about that Maharani Lakshmi Bai who died fighting, who while fighting was carrying her infant or maybe a little aged more child on her back and fighting? What about Bhagat Singh? What about Sukhdev? What about Chavshankar brothers who were there in their high teens when they laid down their lives? What about Maharana Pratap? What about Shivaji? We cannot say that we got this independence without Khadag and Dhal. And Khadag and Dhal also, plus the potent weapon of Ahimsa also, were they the only contributors which gave us the freedom? Maybe not. The World War II was over. Imperialism was dying. And maybe that was also the reason. Countries which did not have half the number of freedom fighters that we have got independence before us. So no great deal into it. That we got the independence on 15th of August, and on the night of 15th of August we say, here we make a tryst with destiny, and the nation is in making. The nation was already there. The nation was fighting. The nation was fighting with the clarion call of Vande Mataram. The nation was already civilized. The nation was already strong. But something happened in between, which maybe made us enslaved, and then we are back to God. In this month of August, when we celebrate our Independence Day, a lot of introspection is required. So let me touch on 4 points. These are the points that this lecture is not about. This lecture is not about one of the most Bollywood fancied subject of celluloid patriotism, wherein one of the most famed movies, Purab or Paschim by Manoj Kumar, in there is a sequence where Pran tells to Manoj Kumar that India ka contribution to zero hai. India's contribution is zero. Manoj Kumar, the hero of the movie, stands up and says, "Haan, zero hai. It is zero, and it is into the world." Great. Hats off to all those people. In my introductory video, we had Shushrut, the father of plastic surgery, documenting a book, writing Sushruta Samhita 500 years before Christ. But then there was this time when somebody saying India's contribution zero, India's contribution is zero. We have somebody who still wants to live in the past. We need to move out from that past. Yes, we invented the zero and was that the end of it? No. 200, 300 years when the Industrial Revolution was on into the Europe, we hardly did anything. But now we have the Kalpana Chawla, we have the scientists in ISRO. But mind well, we should not get into this celluloid patriotism where everything glamorous looks good, and when a simple thing like pay your taxes on time comes, we say that our smartness is in evading tax. We are not going to talk of this celluloid superficial patriotism. We're talking about real patriotism. The second point, it's not NRI bashing also. Initially, I said there's a lot of NRI bashing. If not bashing, looking them with different spectacles happening in India. Tame to foreign vada loko. You, the foreigners, or you, the NRIs, we look them with a different spectacle. We should not do that. I would rather go on record to say, and I say this with experience, as Dr. Lalit Soda said in his introductory speech, when I was part of the Indian national team, the finals of Champions Trophy at the Oval in London, and this TV channel had ke baap kaun hai thing. One of our players, Mohammad Shami, walks up from the ground to the dressing room, and I know how our neighbor Pakistani supporters and some of his English supporters abused this cricketer Mohammad Shami. What is it? India was not this. Asia was not this. I'm talking of Pakistan, but then Pakistan was part of the Akhand Bharat that we had. And this NRIs, a few of our people there, they were fighting this Pakistani spectator and few English spectators tooth and nail with their words, with their actions, with their sloganeering, with their waving of the national flag. I've seen it in West Indies also. It's difficult to be an Indian abroad rather than being an Indian in India. So hats off to all you NRIs. Thirdly, it's not about us versus the rest of the world. Let's come out of this victim mode. We are no more the third world country. We are amongst the most strong, we are amongst the most developed countries now. We can have a satellite attack. We can launch satellites of number of countries in one go. So let's come out of this thing. Okay, India is undone by most of the foreign countries. And lastly, this is also not to live into the false glory that we have defeated them all.
We are superpower. We are
Strong. We are the mighty. We are the bastions of strength. Nothing can harm us. But no, it doesn't happen. It is also not about when we say Janani Janmabhumi. We sing it. Janani Janmabhumi Swarg se mahan hai, anadi hai, anant hai. सृष्टि का विधान है। ग्रीक हूण शक यवन टूटते थे भूमि पर, हारते थे हौसले पंच नदी के तीर पर, पता नहीं कहां गए अतीत में समा गए, काल के प्रवाह में निज को मिटा गए, भव्य दिव्य लक्ष्य की प्राप्ति ही विराम है. So this lecture is about that. भव्य दिव्य लक्ष्य की प्राप्ति ही विराम है. Our only stop, full stop, our destination should be the attainment of a glorious and a perpetual lakshya, target. What is that target? When India was Sone ki Chidiya, we had something where we said, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The entire world is a family. Now, if we want to have India throbbing in our heart, and thriving and to be triumphant, India never thinks in singular. India always has thought in plural. Bharat has thought in plural, where everybody, everyone's opinion is respected and their well-being and goodwill taken care of. Why do we need this Throb? Why do we need this dharkan, as we say in Hindi? Why do we need this beat of our heart? We need it because in times of adversity, and when Winston Churchill says that we shall go on to the end and we shall fight in France, we shall fight on the seas, we shall fight on the beaches, that's when a nation which was fearing the attack by the Nazis rises up and gets ready to fight. We need this. When corruption plagues India, when communal riots, they plague India, we need this circle, we need this throbbing of heart, this resounding sound, this regular sound, this rhythmic sound of our heart which says India to get our heart throbbing. When can we thrive? We can only thrive now in India, and especially in Gujarat, and majority of our audience is Gujaratis, because development is a word which is much spoken about. There's a difference between vriddhi and vikas.
Captain Joshi, can I
Vriddhi is
disturb you a little
just
bit?
growing, vikas is development.
Captain Joshi,
Yes, please.
your internet connection seems
Yes,
to
yes.
Yeah, your internet connection seems to be very low, the bandwidth. So a little bit of your communication is being delayed or cut, and we can't hear you very clearly.
Okay. Okay. So, okay, give me a second. I'll just take the connection. Just a second.
Sure,
I'll
sure.
just pause my video for a second. Yeah, yeah.
Not a problem, not a problem. So this is because sometimes due to the weather conditions in India and the heavy amount of rainfall that has been falling over there, oftentimes, in fact, we just heard from the President, Harshita Benkaria, that she's traveled in immense amount of rain to Rajkot right now. So there is a lot of rain, which unfortunately distorts the internet connection. So bear with us while Captain Jaydev Joshi is going to be giving such an inspiring talk where we can triumph, we can throb, and we can thrive as the Indian population. There is so much that foreigners have come and succeeded in their fields abroad and done extremely well. And we as Indians are proud Indians. And obviously the land you live in, we respect the land that has given us the opportunity to thrive, to throb, and to triumph as Indians. So really, I think we're listening to an amazing lecture by Captain Jaydev Joshi. And recently, just before he logs on back, just give us a thumbs up when you're logged in, Captain Joshi. So just before he logs in, I mean, a couple of our speakers, previous speakers who have come on board have been proud Indians who have immigrated, probably third, fourth generation Indians who have immigrated from Africa and done absolutely well as Indians in different countries and especially in Britain, who have actually made it to the parliamentary sector also. I believe Captain Joshi has logged in. Captain Joshi, welcome back. And we love to hear your continuation. Sorry to disturb you. However, this material that you're discussing is so vital and important that we want to hear it very clearly. So over to you,
Yes.
sir.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Soda. And sorry to you and the viewers for this interruption.
Unfortunately, that's still being interrupted. The weather situation is pretty bad. I think, Captain Joshi, you have frozen a little bit there. The screen is frozen and we can't hear you.
Is it better now?
We can hear you now, yes?
Yeah. And is it like better? I need to correct it more.
No, go ahead. We can hear you now.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. So I believe about 3 odd minutes are left in me to complete this 20 minutes of talk. How can we do it? I, as you said, Dr. Soda, was fortunate
Okay. Okay, I think we're still having some internet issues, Captain Joshi. Are we able to correct that at your end at all? Are we able to do that? Captain Joshi, if you can hear us, a bit of a thumbs up, and just maybe if we can just shift your position or check your bandwidth. That's the message I'm getting here. It says Captain Jaydev Joshi, the bandwidth is a little low. Maybe what we can do is also, if you re-log in, log in, log out kind of thing, log out and then log in, maybe that might make a difference. That would be great. We actually have also got a few lovely speakers who are going to be asking a question or two. Of that, we have, while we are waiting for Captain Joshi to log in, what we're going to do is we'll have probably a couple minutes of a chat session with one of the speakers also from India who's been on our previous Zoom calls, Dr. Bhagirat Jadeja. Bhagirat Bhai, if you are logged on, Meenaben, if you can spotlight him, that would be great. And we can have just a couple minutes from Bhagirat Bhai. Yes, come on live if you can.
Yes, Lalit Bhai, I am here, very much here.
Okay, good. Nice to see you. Nice to see you, Mr. Jadeja. It's always a pleasure. Again, from the same subcontinent of India, would love to hear maybe a couple minutes of your viewpoint on the Throb, the Thrive, and the triumph of Indians.
Totally not my subject, but yes, I would like to say I have been listening to Captain since quite a time. And as we belong to Rajkot, and we have met a couple of times, and it was so wonderful to listen to him. And let me tell you, all the viewers, he has served as an expert on all the news channel panels wherever this defense discussions are going on. And I always look forward to have his view. But I may not be an expert to give an opinion about what Captain was speaking, but yes, when I was listening to him, I realized one thing, and I would like to put that. 65% of Indians are youngsters below the age of 35. So India is one of the youngest country in the world. Our tradition is very rich. Our people are full of talent and skills. And what Captain said was very correct. The way we project India outside in the world, that's how people will know what capacity these Indians have and what they can do. And I'm absolutely thrilled when my subject basically is psychology and mythology, as Lalit Bhai had mentioned when I was taking the session. I absolutely love the Indian culture and tradition and how that's so very scientific, but the people are not even aware, the world is not aware what India has. But I would like to mention one incident here. Recently, I was having a call from a friend in United States. And he said that during this COVID-19 situation, why a continent like India or a country like India successfully survived, the death rate of COVID in India is very low as compared to other countries. He said why India survived, and he gave a very clear reason. Even though it's a democracy, the entire Indian population, they were together, they were united. When the Prime Minister said it's a lockdown, the entire country was locked. And that's completely what Indians are. So when I was listening to Captain, I was really proud. And when I always look at Meena Aunty and Lalit Bhai, I feel so very proud that what Indians are doing outside. I mean, look at Meena Aunty, when I see those two flags. Now, when I logged in, the first thing that caught my attention was those two flags. And that's what we Indians are. We reach out everywhere. And it's a wonderful and proud thing that you both are doing, and that's really amazing. During this time when the world is facing such a chaos, people are getting depressed, there is so much negativity. We have these two beautiful Indians out there reaching out to Indians abroad and in the country and doing something really positive and marvelous. So
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Bhagirath Bhai Jadeja. Thank you so much for your kind words. I believe Captain Joshi has logged in with us. So thank you for filling in this. This was amazing to hear from you all the way from India. Captain Joshi, are we on again? There we go. Lovely. We'll need to unmute Captain Joshi. Is he unmuted? Captain Joshi, you need to be unmuted.
Ask him to increase his volume.
Increase your volume if you may, because we can see you, but we can't hear you. Okay, we still can't hear you, Captain Joshi. Sure, okay. Okay, while Captain Joshi is actually sorting the sound system out, let's see what he comes up with. We have a gentleman over here, Mr. Michael Flores, who is also one of a dignitary speakers who has joined us today. Okay, he's put his earphones on. Let's see if we can hear him now, Captain Joshi. Okay, we still can't hear you very well. Increase the volume on your speaker, maybe. Connecting with internet audio, as it would say. You still remain unmuted. Is he unmuted from our side? Meena Ben, can you unmute him?
Yes. He's muted himself again. He unmuted himself.
Okay, he's unmuted now, but we can't hear him. Ladies and gentlemen, apologies for this. I think the sound will be coming back. Mr. Michael Flores, Meena Ben, if we can highlight Mr. Michael Flores, who is also a very good associate or a connection with Captain Joshi, who's going to share a couple minutes of his thoughts on today's topic and has had some close interaction and work done with Captain Jaydev Joshi. So Meena Ben, if we can unmute and highlight Mr. Michael Flores.
I don't see him.
Mr. Michael Flores has probably, okay, he has probably.
Here. Yes, he's here. Yeah.
He's here, yes.
Yes.
Meena Ben?
Yes, he's here.
Yeah, can you do the video for him and can you highlight him, please?
Yeah, he's here. Spotlight him. Spotlight him. Yeah.
Hello, Mr. Flores. Good afternoon and welcome to this Zoom session.
My pleasure.
Would you like to share some of your interaction with Captain Joshi, please?
Yes, I have. I go to Rajkot fairly regularly since 2010. And I have met Captain Joshi socially on many occasions and had dinner with him and so on. He has always impressed me with the energy he has and the commitment that he shows to the cause of India. That's the only way I can describe it. And I think we all saw very, very clearly the passion with which he spoke and delivered his ideas. This is not just a man giving a lecture. This is a man who is sharing what is important to him in his life. And I was very struck by a number of points that he made. First of all, he highlighted like Dr. Jadeja, the rich cultural history of India, going back thousands of years, but even before the sort of Western European history that is so central in the way we present ourselves to the world. But a point raised both by Captain Joshi when he spoke about, I think he said a celluloid culture.
That's correct.
And Dr. Jadeja also mentioned that the world does not know what India does. A few years ago, I went to a conference in the Ramakrishna temple in Rajkot and heard many talks from the Swami and other speakers about Indian philosophy and culture. And many of these talks, fortunately, were in English, so I was able to follow them. And one of the points that was repeated over and over again is that so many young people in India, the 70% that Dr. Jaydev mentioned, so many young people, according to the Swami, are not really fully aware of what this richness of philosophy and culture, the life of the spirit, India can offer them. And I think Dr. Jaydev and the captain made great play of this. Now, there's an inevitability here that as India grows, develops, becomes more modern, there will be a clash between the outside influences that you bring in, the McDonald's, the Coca-Cola culture, as it were, and this wonderful and rich culture that India can give to the world. And I agree with both of the speakers that India has a lot to offer for the world. And for me, and this is that, again, the Swami mentioned this, for me, it is the spiritual life, the life of the spirit, the culture, the richness of it all, and the way you practice your faith, the individualization of faith, where so much in the West is regimented by church laws and so on. So I have been, as I say, particularly struck by that voice. Now, how you manage to maintain modernization, which India needs to have, with maintaining a proper respect for your culture, both in India and abroad. I would like to hear certainly the captain's ideas on that, because it seems to me it is a very, very difficult managing act. And politicians nationally talk about global figures, gross domestic product, more factories, more money coming in. That perhaps is the way forward, but not at the cost of leaving everything else behind. You know, a good old-fashioned English expression, don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. So those are my thoughts on what I have heard, but my respect for Captain Joshi is very, very high. I was fortunate to be shown around the clinic that he gives so much time to for the veterans. And I can only say that it was one of the most humbling experiences I have felt in India, because of the commitment that these people show for the cause that they are trying to put in place, the help to the veterans. So thank you very much for inviting me and giving me this opportunity to talk. I think you can sense that I am very, very attached to India and to things Indian. So it was wonderful for me to be involved here.
Thank you very much, Mr. Flores. This gentleman who has just spoken to us has worked in close connection with Captain Joshi. He's a gentleman born in Gibraltar, settled in England since the year of 1987, and has had teaching experience of French and Spanish languages in 42 years. He has retired and is making frequent visits to the countries to include India, China, and Sweden. He has been visiting India since, and especially Rajkot, since 2010, and is a visiting speaker at various universities, colleges, and schools, conducting training of teachers in developing different training and learning styles. Mr. Flores is a great friend of our India. Thank you very much, Mr. Flores. And I believe Captain Joshi has now logged in with another phone. Captain Joshi, we're going to keep pushing and trying our luck. So if you're logged in, let's spotlight you and let's carry on for the next couple minutes with your little talk, and then we need to move on to our question answer session, if that's okay with you. In fact, because time is running, can we straight move on to the questions and the answer session? Meena Ben, if you can highlight Captain Jaydev Joshi, please. Thank you very much. Welcome on board, Captain Joshi.
I hope I'm third time lucky and I get this through.
Absolutely. You sound clear. You look awesome. And I think we sometimes go through a turbulent journey. And this is just part of turbulence. We are persistent. We won't give up.
Thank you. Thank you. It's like people like you who come as saviors. I'll precisely take maybe 2 minutes, not more than 2 minutes, to give a few points wherein combined all these things. How can we throb and how can India throb in our hearts? We thrive and we can be triumphant. And as I was lastly saying, when India wins, India doesn't win along. 7 to 8 points to it, but I'll just take 2 to 3 minutes. One is, I'll say it in Gujarati or Hindi, and then we can translate it into English. Shaurya, bravery, valor. We need to bring it back. We need to bring it back in our nation. When an aggressor from across the Himalayas, they attack us, we need to be strong. It's not only the nation versus the nation, vices within us. We have vices within us. We need to fight them with our bravery and eradicate all evils which are there in our heart. So that's Shaurya. Shield. Shield is character. If wealth is gone, nothing is not gone. If health is gone, something is gone. But if character is gone, everything is gone. These points are relevant. Today, when we see the president of a country, a big golf player, or maybe a technocrat, everybody having some or the other issues on their moral front. We need to be morally upright. Our character has to be strong. Sadbhavana, good feeling for all, everybody. There are stories, many stories in our Indian culture wherein we can have peaceful coexistence, and not just that, having good feelings for even our enemies, to that extent that the most revered Hindu god Ram, Lord Ram, tells his younger brother to go and sit next to the enemy, the foe, and sit respectably and learn from him. So this sort of sadbhavana is what we need. Samrasta is peaceful coexistence. We all should be together. Sarva Samahita. A story goes that when the Parsis came to India, they wanted to get mingled. A bowl of milk was offered to them, and they also very thoughtfully and very correctly, they put a spoon of sugar into it, and they say, okay, if this India is a bowl of milk, we the Parsis would get mixed into it and make the milk even more sweeter by mixing into it like the sugar mixes it. 3 points. Last, there should be merit and meritocracy in India. Enough of autocracy, enough of democracy also, I would say. We need to bring in this meritocracy in democracy also. Only then can India thrive, the nation can thrive, the world can thrive. The Varna Vyavastha. And this is the biggest harm that we have done to ourselves. We get born into one particular clan or a family and we follow it. The king's son becomes king, a laborer's son becomes a laborer, a teacher's son becomes teacher. Enough of this. We need to go back to what was right, the Varna Vyavastha, in which you would be known by the work that you do. We need to go back to that. This existed years and years and decades before the civilizations of other world did come forward. We need to get back. We have ruined it. We need to correct it. And lastly, many atrocities against the women. Why? Like I would like to mention one commercial ad that runs here in India, and the entire family sees umpteen number of ads like this, but nobody tells a word. When a boy takes a deodorant bottle and sprays it around his body, all the women, all the young, scantily dressed girls come and cling on to him. The man's ego is satisfied, and then he goes and buys that deodorant. Are women only a symbol? Why are men not shown in this light in commercials? We still are a male-dominated society wherein, and I say it respectfully, that women are seen as an object of pleasure. We need to drive it out. It was our culture who taught us, Yatra naryastu pujyante, ramante tatra devataha. Where the women will be worshipped, the gods will rejoice. So if we can do these 7, 8 things together, as our philosophy is, Vasudev Kutumbakam, entire world is a family. India as a family will be able to stay together, give a light, guiding light to the world, and this world will be a better place to stay in. Without going long into it, thanks for the time, thanks for the patient listening, and sorry for the technical inconvenience. I finish here, Dr. Soda.
Thank you very much, Captain Joshi. What a stimulating, and ladies and gentlemen, put your videos on. Let's give Captain Joshi a big round of applause for such wonderful, wonderful topic. Unfortunately, we had a little bit of a turbulent journey, but you know what? That's the fun of a journey when turbulence comes, isn't it? So enjoy this next session of it. First of all, what I would like to say, Dr. Bhagira, thank you for that. Thank you very much for stepping in. And Mr. Michael Flores, thank you also to you. And we have another speaker. Please stay on board. Don't go away, Mrs. Veena Soni. We'll have a couple, literally 2 minutes from you through this program. And may I say, so first of all, wanted to say a very big thank you to some of the Zoom guests that have actually taken their time today and joined us. Together, we have the Lohana Community United Kingdom President, Mr. Sunil Bhai Majitya. We have the founder of the Asian Foundation, Mr. Manubhai Chandaria. We have the current president or the chairperson for the Asian Foundation, Mr. Hasubhai Devani. So these guys have actually taken some time and logged in with us. So we really appreciate this. And moving on from the thank yous, what I would like to say is a few questions to our lovely captain, Captain Joshi. First question I would like to ask you is, the best of the ideals of our civilization are the fast dwindling in India. And naturally, Indians settled abroad are not in live interaction. What ways do you suggest to keep the best of our cultural values intact and upheld?
Yes, as we say, charity begins from home. This introspection, as I said in my talk also, this introspection should begin from home. We all here settled in India need to go back. Dayanand Saraswati said it years and years, decades and decades ago. Maybe I would dare say it again. We need to go back to the Vedas. Our religious scriptures, I won't even say religious, they were our civilizational scriptures. We need to go back to them. We need, and this Corona times are the best times to tell us that wake up, you gentlemen, you had best of everything. As you said, Dr. Soda, during my tenure and studying at IIM Ahmedabad was taught 2 words by a marketing guru. And he said that these 2 words comprise of the entire marketing of the world, and that is differential relevance. You should be different from what the others are, and you should be relevant. Our society, our culture, our principle, our ideals are that. We just need to roll up our sleeves, get on with it, persevere for maybe decades. Like the Israelis used to say, next year in Jerusalem, we need to do it. And once we do it, let there be cultural exchange programs between the communities settled abroad. They come here for a 10-day tour, not go and just meet their uncles and aunts and do what we do here, eat gathia and do no exercise. Let us not do that. Let us do something that is worthwhile. Let us exchange the culture in meaningful way. I think if we can do it, it's pretty simple. The perseverance and the effort is required.
Thank you. Yeah, that's so true. So very true, Captain Joshi. Also, moving on to the next question. You meet an American or a British or an Australian or anybody from the different part of the globe. But when you meet someone from India, in India especially, or abroad, they say, I'm a Gujarati, I'm a Marathi, I'm a Punjabi. What are your views on this?
sad, utterly sad, Dr. Soda, onto this.
And tell me why.
Yes, we live where what we say, Katili Taro ki Diwar ke piche. Our military cantonments are behind the barbed wire fencings. There are no regionalisms. There are no caste structures. You would see, and the recent history has been an evidence to it. When India lost 20 soldiers fighting the Chinese in the Ladakh region, a South Indian was heading a battalion, was the commanding officer of a battalion, which is by name is called the Bihar Battalion, up north in India, where one of the oldest universities of the world, Nalanda, was there. So we in the armed forces have done away with this regional and communal and casteist divides. We need to get over it. Here in the armed forces, we have a fabric in which, if I suppose get into the Gorkha regiment, I learn the Gorkha language. I have seen Punjabis into the South Indian regiments and they worship the South Indian gods. We don't wear the uniform. We imbibe the culture. We praise their gods. We worship their gods. We eat their food. If we can do it, maybe there will be no cultural, communal, casteist divide and no politicians making their way forward easy by dividing us. We need to do it. Let there be no Punjabi, no Marathi, no Gujarati. Let everybody be an Indian, and Indian in capital bold letters.
Hum Hindustani. Thank you. Thank you for that question. The next one is: an average Indian youngster looks upon any Indian settled abroad with respect and love. But in many aspects like work discipline, perseverance in work, seeing no work as small, etc., he's either not too keen or not wanting to match up to the Indians who settled abroad. What sort of a message would you give these youngsters, Captain Joshi?
Yes, very rightly put up by you, Dr. Soda. And as Meena auntie said at the start, that I am an actor also. So if I may dare now say a few lines as a stand-up comedian, a very well-known Gujarati comedian is not a comedian, he was giving lot many social messages also, he still is, Mr. Sahabuddin Rathod.
Yes.
He in funny ways used to characterize, he used to make some characters and speak in his way to convey the message. And he used to say, European atle European, ek wage atle jamwa beshi jai, bale road upar hoy. They used to say, Europeans are Europeans. They adhere to their timings. They'll sit to eat their lunch if 1 o'clock is the time. Even if they are on the road, they'll sit on the road and do it. We made fun of this. We still make fun of this. When the NRIs, when you all visit us, our relatives, when you ask, when you have a bottle of water and when you want to throw it, you look for a dustbin. We say, what? Come on, man, throw it anywhere. You are in a free country, democracy. This is what we should do away with. We want all the good things which an Indian abroad gets, but we do not see the toil that you people would have done. Kenya has had turbulent history. What not have Indians, Gujaratis gone through in Kenya? To be there, to become that European, as we laugh them upon to, you need to weather and you need to fight so many odds. First, we who make fun of it should gather the courage to fight those odds which you people are fighting, and then we do that. And we should be the ones who should be creating that India which your forefathers had seen. We should bring it back. Our Ganga needs to be clean again. Our Himalayas need to be clean again. Our hearts need to be clean again. Only if we do that, we have the right to laugh upon the NRIs.
Thank you. Very well answered question, Captain Joshi, and totally agree with you. Thank you very much. My last question before we move on to Veena Ben Soni's question and maybe a little bit of interaction with her is, what inspires you?
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me? What inspires you?
If I say that something inspires me and I'm setting a benchmark or do this and that, it would be self-glorification. Dr. Soda, I would like to say that the endless and the selfless efforts made by the great Indians, they inspire me. And it is they, maybe I'm nothing or none of us is any match to what our forefathers, our leaders, our freedom fighters, our warriors have done. They dreamt of an India and they died with the dream. Actualizing their dream, making their dream turn into reality, that is what inspires me, and that is what makes me tell all youngsters when I address them or when I coach them in our Captain JJ Academy to join the Indian Armed Forces or to be leader in any walk of life, just three things. If we do these three things, we would be able to turn that dream into reality. And that is, one has to be physically fit, mentally alert, and morally upright. So what inspires me is the endless and selfless deeds of all these stalwarts, these forefathers, the freedom fighters, and to actualize their dream into actions and in person. That is what inspires me.
Thank you. What a great inspiration that is, and that drives you to your ultimate goal that you want. So, Captain Jaydev Joshi, thank you very much. We're just going to actually introduce one of the persons you are connected quite strongly with, a lovely lady called Veena Joshi. She's got a lovely introduction to her. Due to time constraint, I'm going to tell a couple things about her. She's one of those ladies who's working with the British Council to bring young people and teachers from India and the United Kingdom together. She has received a Queen's Award for her social and community work for the last 40 years. Meena Ben, if you want to highlight Mrs. Veena Soni, that would be great. And just to say that she received a Queen's Award, but she's also awarded the role of Deputy Lord Lieutenant, representing the Queen at events. This is an honor awarded to very selective people, and she is absolutely known in the community and the strategic sector, and it's often asked for great advice and guidance. Veena Ben, you have strong connections with Captain Joshi. Welcome to this Zoom session with us today, and we would love you if you can interact with Captain Joshi for literally 2 minutes, and then we have our next item on the agenda. Thank you very much, Veena Ben, and welcome on board.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate the time constraints, and maybe at another time I'd like to say a few more words.
Sure.
This time, like yourself, I'm an Indian-born British citizen who's spent all my life almost here. I was very young when I came here, and one of the things I feel that I've seen change over the years is the importance of identity, and how our young people, certainly in the Northeast now, are turning more towards our motherland and looking at forming their own identity and ensuring that their young children celebrate the culture that exists in India. What saddens me, however, is that we are celebrating the culture, we are acknowledging and understanding and want our children to learn the language, the culture, etc., and know the history of our country. And yet when we turn to India, we find that our young people there are turning to the West and looking more at changing themselves and celebrating the Western culture and understanding the Western culture. when I listen to the passion of Captain, it's very, I can see the passion there. I can see how important he feels. And I know because I go to Rajkot almost every year as well. And what I would like to ask is, how can we work with our young people to appreciate and celebrate the culture that we have in India, and to understand that actually we have a lot to give. And although we can take something from the West, what we should be doing is giving to the West and helping them to understand our culture and celebrate the wealth of what we have, our history and culture, etc.
Thank you. So well asked, Mrs. Soni. That's a brilliant question. Captain Joshi, the stage is yours now.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for the kind words, Mrs. Veena. Your visit to our medical center with tutors and children who were all, I believe, they were all Britain born and British citizens. None of them had any Indian origin or any Indian connection. But we, as the armed forces are, we were proud and we were happy, satisfied to showcase to you the work that we do. This sort of interaction also are a medium wherein we can connect with you. We thoroughly and heartily appreciate your desire to get connected, contribute, as well as also maybe if we can, I won't say teach you, I would say we can reawaken those feelings in you. All of you out there, they are already there. I would dare not say that we would teach you. I would say that if we can reawaken it, we would be more than happy. How can we do it? What we have done it earlier, maybe the student exchange programs can happen. Internet these days is getting so very nice, and augmented reality, artificial intelligence, so many things coming. Internet also can be a medium. We here are a foundation, and through internet, through our website, we can, and with a soldier's commitment and a soldier's word, and knowing this system here and being unashamed about it, we can transparently show you as to where each paisa of your rupee or contribution or your single second of a minute that you give to us is very well expended by us, so that you feel that whatever you have done to us has reached the right person. We can be the medium. Lohana, Mahajan, Nakuru, or mediums and platforms and communities like this in England, in Europe, they can take the lead. They can connect you and us, and maybe we can do something.
Thank you very much. I think it's very important what you just mentioned about the interaction between people in other countries, whether it's Kenya, USA, or UK, and the visits between each other, whether it's students, whether it's teachers, and how we can learn from one another. Not one way, but it's both way, the interaction, and how we can support one another.
Thank you very much, Captain Joshi. Thank you very much, Mrs. Veena Soni. Appreciate your input, appreciate your questions and your interaction with us today. We move on to the very final round, which will be completed literally within hopefully 2 minutes. And this is what we call our rapid fire round with myself and Captain Joshi. So ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. This is going to be an amazing rapid fire round. So Captain Joshi, this is a little bit of a surprise for you, but I would like to ask you one thing. It's a one word that I will say, and as best in one word or a short sentence, you can describe the word. Are we ready for this?
Yes.
Okay, so I will request Meena Ben, who is hosting the seminar, to actually keep Captain Joshi highlighted. So we're not going back and forth. It's absolutely fine. I will ask the word, keep the captain highlighted or spotlighted, and then we'll continue with this. Meena Ben, thank you very much. So the first word, Captain Joshi, culture.
I'm proud of it.
Civilization.
Indus Valley civilization, Sindhu civilization.
India.
Motherland, Bharat.
Wow. NRI, non-resident Indians.
I wish them all the very best.
Amitabh Bachchan.
Our passport to any interaction with a foreigner.
Drugs.
Don't do it. Never do it. Message to the youngsters.
Black Lives Matter.
They do. Every life matters.
Absolutely. Kadi Khichdi.
Oh, Kadi Khichdi. Come to our place to have it and you'll enjoy it and we'll give you the best of it.
Typical Gujarat. Absolutely. Kenya.
Cricket, wildlife, fun.
Lohana Samaj.
All my friends, all my father's friends are Lohana. So he always used to tell me, when you make a friend, make a better friend. So I feel Lohanas would be the best friends I could ever make.
Thank you very much. Bollywood.
Dreamland? Larger than life?
Politics.
Let's bring Rashtra-niti into Rajniti. Let politics be patriotic.
Absolutely. Let us talk about Meena Aunty Khagram.
Oh, she is a powerhouse.
Vande Mataram.
Vande Matram, and for you, Bharat Mata, we are committed to take you onto the highest of the seats whichever exists in this world.
Bhagat Singh.
A true martyr, less respected, less honored, should be the hero of the youngsters.
I want to hear something about myself. Dr. Lalit Soda. Yeah, go ahead.
I'll take that on, but here in India, no, we say everybody here in India wants Bhagat Singh, but not in my house, in my neighbor's house.
Okay, that's a good one. I want to hear something about myself. Dr. Lalit Soda.
Dr. Lalit Soda is full of energy. He's innovative. He's exciting to talk to, and who's always full of ideas and always positive. Never says no.
I'm on cloud 9 now.
I'll join you there.
Absolutely. Cricket World Cup.
Oh, Cricket World Cup, best hosted by England.
Sushant Singh Rajput.
Let the boy live in peace.
Gujarat.
Garvi Gujarat, Jai Jai Garvi Gujarat. Jyan jyan vase Gujarati, tyan tyan sada kaal Gujarat. Even if a Gujarati stays, a single Gujarati says anywhere, it's sada kaal Gujarat. It's forever Gujarat there.
And Gujarat comes with Dokra, Fafda, Thepla, and Khakra.
Oh yes, and the list goes on.
Absolutely. Talk about patriotism.
Patriotism, did you say?
Yes.
Yeah, patriotism. That should be the code of conduct. That should be the code by which we live and by which, if required, we die.
Rangilu Rajkot.
It's Rangilu, and these days it is much more than that. It is colorful Rajkot. Do come and visit it.
And last, women empowerment.
It's not a duty. It is I would say it should be a self-imbibed thing rather than it becoming a law. Women empowerment, people have made business out of it. They do give self-defense classes and do whatnot, but real empowerment comes with greeting your mother well, not asking for dowry from the lady you are going to wed, not oppressing your girl child against the rights you yourself give to a boy child. Make it real.
Thank you very much. And that comes to the end of the rapid fire round. I am so pleased, Captain Joshi, you took every word with a pinch of salt and the answers were instant. So thank you very much for participating with me on this little rapid fire round. Really appreciate it. We have fast come to the end of this slightly turbulent journey we had, but the most magnificent journey that we had. So very, very happy to have connected with you, Captain Joshi, Veena Soni, Michael Flores, and obviously Meena Ben Khagram. The Zoom session comes to an end. However, we have the secretary for the Lohana Mahajan Nakuru, who would love to say a few vote of thanks to yourself, Captain Joshi. So can we introduce our secretary, a hardworking lady who lives in Nakuru, who is very dedicated, very committed to her passion, to her mission, to her family, and that is Komalben Mojaria. Komalben? Minaben, we need to highlight Komalben and invite her, please.
I don't see her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I think we'll.
If we can't see Komalben, then we have the lovely, oh, she is actually logged on, Komal Mojaria. She's
Okay,
definitely
fine.
logged on.
Okay.
Komalben, if you
Yeah.
unmute her,
If she comes on the line, then I can see. Maybe she is under different name.
no, she is under Komal Mojaria.
Yeah,
She's
this
on at the moment. She's got her
Yes.
video on.
Yes.
So, yes.
Yes. Got it. Spotlight her.
Hello,
Okay, Komalben, welcome.
Jai Shri Krishna to all of you. આપ સૌને મારા જય શ્રી કૃષ્ણ. First of all, I welcome all listeners and viewers all over the world to Zoom interaction meeting arranged by Lohana Mahajan Nakuru. And thank you all for joining us. A warm welcome to our grand speaker, Captain Jaydev Joshi, who has given his valuable time to join us and gave inspiring talk on Let Us Make India Throb, Thrive and Triumph in Our Heart and the World. Captain Jaydev Joshi said, to be alive and to be live is different. Challenges came to the world and humankind. In olden days, challenge was how to light a fire. So India has faced many challenges, and now today, India stands probably on top in the field of science, medicine, and sports. We not only talk on patriotism and sing patriotic songs, but act and show that India's top contribution to the world in every field. Today, our challenge is COVID-19 situation. And in this situation too, India and all our Indians are standing and fighting against it together. So move from past, move into future and tell that India will thrive and triumph. The people outside India are called NRIs, non-Indian residents. But we non-Indian residents, NRIs, in our heart, India is resident. Bharat Mata amara dilma vase છે. And as Jaydev Joshi told, to have all the good qualities like character, good feelings, sadbhavna, samrasta, and sarva samahita. All these words are not only the words, but they have to be put into action. And the people in India are doing this, and we also, as Indians and NRIs, we do all the things to make India proud, though we are far. So let us make India thrive and triumph in our heart and all over the world. I thank Lalit Bhai Soda as our master of ceremony and Meena Ben Khagram for hosting all these Zoom programs. I thank Chairperson of Lohana Mahajan Nakuru, Harshida Ben Karya, for allowing us to arrange this program. And lastly, I thank you all the viewers and listeners who has joined and make this program successful. And thank you, Jaydev Joshi, for giving an inspirational talk on Let India Thrive and Triumph in the heart and in the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Komal Ben, as the secretary for the Lohana Mahajan Nakuru. Thank you for your vote of thanks. And last but not the least, our Meena auntie comes right at the end and adds the cherry on the cake. And that's the cherry that she's going to tell us about you, Captain Joshi. So Meena Ben, highlight yourself.
Okay.
Good. There we go. The
Good
lovely
evening,
Rakhi
everybody.
Gulzar.
If you all really enjoyed, I'm sure you all, and we learned a lot. My God, that fellow is a fire, Captain Jaydev Joshi. Full of life and full of courage. Lot of power. Thank you all for coming, joining us from all over the world. Mr. Ramesh Pai Khetani, thank you for introducing us. Ellie, my co-host here. Here he
Hi
is.
everyone. Hi Lalit. Hi Captain Jaydev.
Jaydev. And Lohana Mahajan chairperson, Harshida and Komal, Veena-ben Soni. Thank you so much. We are really inspired when we learned that you're doing this job. Mr. Michael Forbes, thank you so much for coming and giving your ideas. And my cousin, Lalit. Oh, he is the backbone of this. Thank you so much. Thank you, Bhagirath. Last minute jump, and saving us. Asante sana, kujatena. Welcome again. Thank you. Bye. Bye to everybody.
Thank you, Meena Ben, Captain Joshi. Thank you so much. And as a host, my name is Lalit Soda. I have absolutely enjoyed today's conversation with Captain Joshi and having all the Zoom attendees attending the lecture. Thank you very much. And it becomes a little bit of my humble duty to thank all of you for being here. Once again, I'm not going to repeat the names. We've had the most amazing session today. Next week, ladies and gentlemen, we have a Bollywood actor. We're not going to name the name right now. He's a Bollywood actor, a script writer, and a magician. Look out for Meena Ben's posts. She's going to be posting them on Monday. On Sunday, the 6th of September, a very special guest who is coming in with a good religious background, and the gentleman is none other than our Pujya Bhai Shri Ramesh Pai Ozar. So ladies and gentlemen, we would like you to join us for both the Zoom seminars on Saturday and on Sunday, 8 p.m. Indian Standard Time, 5:30 Kenyan Standard Time, and 3:30 UK British Summer Time. Ladies and gentlemen,